Hello, Sarangees. Welcome to Chasing K-Dramas, the podcast that dissects popular Korean dramas episode by episode. We dig into the characters, themes, and everything in between. I'm Chrissy Choi, and I'm here with my co-host...
Dulce Slan! Bum ba-dum bum bum ba-dum bum bum ba-dum bum bum ba-dum 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 bum bum ba-dum bum bum. It's your girl. We are talking about everything you want to talk about, and welcome to Unnies React. But before we get into that, I want to make sure that y'all are clicking the subscribe button down at the bottom, okay? Because we are on the road to 10,000 Sarangees because Chrissy's got goals. Because it's soccer, okay? That's what happens when you breathe from the diaphragm. You can hold a note. You understand what I'm saying? And so you click down at the bottom to subscribe. Also, you can join our Club Sarangi newsletter at chasingkdramas.substack.com. And we also have a Sarangi hotline. And you can find out that number by watching our regular podcast. Because neither one of us...
We don't memorize the phone number.
We don't know what the hotline number is. And then we should probably know it at all times. It should be scrolling at the bottom. Like, call now. Like, you're trying to get one of those Ron Popeil sandwich makers or something like that. If we could figure out how to have that number scroll at the bottom like a televangelist, that would be hilarious.
No, this one is, I don't edit these episodes. It's like I just go, I'll edit the audio a little bit, but it just goes live. I'm like, we're just going to punch it out,
Listen,
it's basically like a live stream,
and I'm happy to be here because if there's anybody that loves it, just like, because of the age of the internet, now we just have to talk into devices to share our opinions about things. And we can have hard opinions about soft things is what the entire name of internet is. And hard opinions about hard things, but people aren't arguing about those as much. So we are here to react to episodes 9 and 10.
Wow. Oh, and then before we start, I just do want to tell folks I'm a little under the weather right now, so if I'm sniffling, I may not edit it out. I'm so sorry. You may just hear just sniffles.
Because Chrissy was out in the street, and it caught up with her. Okay,
I know.
She was
I'm not the young girl that I used to be. I'm like, if I go out like 2 nights in a row, I get sick. But anyways, 9 and 10.
Girl, if you lived my life, you'd be dead.
Well, I think the difference is that you're used to it. If I don't do it all the time, you know what I mean? Because I just really don't go out as much as I used to. But you're used to it. So your body, is able to support it.
I wish I had better reasons to be home, okay? If I had some man in my house, I wouldn't be in these streets. But honestly...
No, but your job requires to be on the streets. Lady of the night. I always love saying that and then you forget, but you know what I mean. Because
No. I am a woman of a certain time of day. I'm fully aware of what I'm doing. I am a damsel of the evening, okay?
We're going to call it damsel of the evening, not lady of the night.
Lady of the night. Honestly, it's like... that lady of the night really has just given people who work overnight shifts just... a moniker that they don't need. Like, you're just at this Waffle House. That's not what's happening. You were just out here working at a plant, okay? You're just trying to make sure that Kellogg's gets in the box, and somebody found out, and all of a sudden you're a lady of the night. It's like, no, I'm an employed individual who works when the sun is down. Y'all sound like some haters.
Okay,
but
so
Chrissy's feeling a little down. I'm okay. I just got back in town yesterday. I got off the plane and then went straight to play Mahjong with the LA Mahjong League.
Which I went to because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna rally. And I get there and I was like, oh my God, on the drive there, I was just like, I was sniffling and I was like, well, this is rude. like I shouldn't be out sniffling in public. But how was the rest of it?
It was good. I actually left at a reasonable time.
Good.
Because usually I stay like very late. Well, not like super late, but like I've left at like 10 before and definitely gotten there at like 4 or 5. So I played a couple games. I learned the scoring better. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to join the league or not because I do travel so much, which is why
it's a commitment. It's a commitment.
Right. Which is why I got off of the plane. Because, like, one of the guys, Sam, he owns Steep LA, who's one of the co-founders of the league. He said, he looked up and was like, who's pulling up in a black car? He's like, oh, it's Dulce. Because it's like, because if I land, I'm not going, I'm getting the black car straight from I'm not going over there to that little sad area you got to go to at LAX to get a lift. I just made some money. I'm getting a black car. Somebody come get me.
Cool.
But episodes 9 and 10.
Yeah,
Girl.
let's do this. Let's go through in order, and then why don't we pick some of our top moments, like one or two? So we'll go back and forth to make it kind of tight, because I know you have to head out early today. So
Yeah, I got an audition. I hopped out the shower, hopped onto this, so I got an audition.
Great.
But that's why I feel like it would probably be better if you, because I'm good for a tangent and a ramble.
And I'll keep us tight. I'll keep us tight. So I'm keeping
because you want to lay down, and I got to go try to see if I can get a job.
I know. Let's get you that audition. Okay. Or that role. Okay. So episode 9, go first. What was your the biggest, what were you oh my God about the most?
It was, I've watched so many dramas over the weekend, but I can say the biggest moment that I had is that when she was giving out that hard candy, and it was so cute, and then she gave him one, and he sucked her finger, and I was like, I literally was I was at the hotel in Milwaukee, and I was just like, ha, ha. If I was in my own house, in the words of Chrissy, I would have screamed, because I was like, this is the way, the eye contact, the way he was looking at she, holding her hand. Girl, I got worked up. I got worked up in my hotel room and had nobody to text, nobody to call. But girl,
you did. You texted me though. You're like, the candy scene, and I was like, what? And I was like, hold on, I haven't watched it yet.
And I could not tell you about it. But yeah, that was my biggest moment, was that. And then
okay, well let's chat about that a little bit. So
yeah,
that scene, it was so funny after you texted me, and I am telling you, the Royal Nemesis fan base, holy crap. As soon as those episodes air on Friday, people are cutting clips. They're like, yes. Women were screaming. Women were screaming online. Not just women. I'm sure men were screaming too.
Everybody was screaming.
He is such a good actor, and they have such good chemistry. That was wild. But what made me laugh about that entire scene was he got rid of the consummation scene, because they're a huge, they're the sponsor of the show.
Yes. And he came through
this Sari culture ritual, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I know. And as someone, it turns into the product placement. It's just and that made me laugh. That made me really laugh.
Genius.
So
but
funny.
Also, listen, I can't remember which episode it was, but they did a product placement for a fake product, and there was the Copico. When he got in the car, he looked exhausted after they had their argument. Yes, I was like, I can't remember what it was, but I'm just like, we got a fake product placement in one episode. We got a real product placement in another episode. So good. And I found my Copico. I found some. It's in my kitchen. I was like, damn, Copico even made it into my house. But I think you gave it to me. I don't know. I think it was maybe for Lunar New Year, maybe. You gave me the Copico?
I think so. So we have a bag, or you got it from that live recording from last year, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe I think that's when I got it. I think it's just been sitting in my house, just collecting caffeine. But the way he was just like, I feel my blood pumping again. I was like, girl, this is ridiculous. Wild. But that was my moment. Okay. And then your boy Telemundo is just
okay. So Telemundo, I have to say, Telemundo, he has a lot of time on his hands. That man is skulking around. He is.
Are
in
you
his car,
even running
spying?
A multi-billion-dollar trillion-dollar won corporation if you have so much time to be this pressed about your cousin?
He is everywhere. He is peering over. He is spying on him, Se-gye. He's spying on Dan-shim, Se-ri. He's spying on his grandpa. He is everywhere. He's trying to find the lady, the nurse.
The nurse.
It's too much. But then we discover that he does indeed have a son, which we all kind of assumed. I was a little annoyed because they made it a huge secret. So I thought he was a hidden love child or something. But then everyone knows. They're like, oh yeah, your son in America. Everyone knows.
They're like, go take care of your kid. Why are you acting like a fool? Go take care of your son. Everybody keeps saying to him, why are you acting like this? Go take care of your child. Oh, really? Man. Really, Telemundo? You out here acting like this when you got a whole son in America? I don't understand his character. I'm really starting to go, I don't get what the son is even for. That's what I don't get. It's just him. Yeah. And then what's the young lady's name? Tai-chim, what's her name?
Taehi.
Just she needs to be called Take Heed, because she is not paying attention. Her, again, she's like a throwaway character. Like, I'm not understanding, because it's like, also, for Telemundo to be around so much, how is he still not figured out that Se-gye doesn't want to marry that girl? Like, for somebody who's bugging every office this man is in, how have you not caught one conversation that he doesn't want to be with this girl?
I think Telemundo, I agree. I think they should have given him a little bit more than he's just a jealous, like a jealous cousin who's just like power hungry. Like that's his thing. Like, oh, you grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth, Se-gye. But I'm like, you're part of that family too. So did you technically not too? Like you're probably just as wealthy.
Because he says this, Se-gye, he's like, oh, you got your diamond encrusted spoon. He was like, yeah, your spoon was silver.
Yeah.
We also
so
had we both had precious metal spoons. Like, what are you talking about? And he's so aggressive with him. And I'm just like, it's honestly the way that jealousy will motivate people is always intriguing to me. And especially and I'm sure this happens to anyone who is successful in whatever field that they are in. There are people who, if you're truly a successful person, you're not really watching what other people are doing because you're focused on what you're doing. But I see so many people who are like pocket watching other people or success watching other people. Yeah. The number of comics that will come up to me and name my credits.
I know. So this is kind of
very interesting.
Yeah. So this is where I think we talked about it last episodes too. They're faltering a bit. Now I do like the way that they kind of built out the brother character in the Choson era. So Telemundo and the Choson, that made more sense to me, but this felt a little weak. But back to episode 9. Other scenes that I liked, the wisdom tooth. First of all, I didn't realize you bled like that. If you have I was like, what's happening?
I think because when they're impacted or something, what happens?
A lot of blood. I was like, oh.
Because I think sometimes when if they're impacted, it's kind of just irritates your mouth.
Yeah.
And it's like you've just been brushing and been like, oh no, my gum is bleeding, and you didn't do shit. Like the way your gums will just be like, I don't like this. I'm bleeding now.
The blood came out.
But like to come out of it, like just like oh, gee.
I was like, did someone hit you? I was like, did you? Are you like, But
I guess if like your gums are like swollen, because my wisdom tooth came in when I was like really little.
Yeah, I took them out when I was in, I think I was in high school, like 9th grade. So I had surgery and I went under. I did the whole thing. That surgery is no joke though. They really put you under, and I like woke up in my mom, the backseat of the car, just like. And I was like drooling blood.
Girl,
it was like
pretty blood. Have you seen the videos of people coming to after that surgery? First of all, I think you should be home a little bit longer. But mine came in, and the reason they're taking them out versus not taking them out is whether there's not enough space. In your jaw.
Of course.
And so I've never had an issue really with mine. But it's like the way a wisdom tooth will really take out somebody on a TV show. The way that you have seen growing up, somebody with just 2 ice packs on the side of their face and then like a rag tied around their head. But something about your mouth hurting, I think it's because there's so many nerves.
Oh, I know. Well, I've had so many issues. Like I've had crazy stories because I'm relatively super healthy person, but then I've just had a lot of teeth issues. But I really like this scene because, he wants her to stay, which was adorable. And again, Se-gye's acting. Han Namjoon can God, he's so good. Like, he just plays the, like, pathetic, like, love.
He loves her.
Like, he loves her so much. He's such a baby. He's a baby. He gets so excited when she comes in and has the ice. He's like, and you're like,
because he's like, she left me. I bet she left me. I know she left me. And so, and then she comes up with the ice, and he was like, "What you doing with all this ice?" She's like, "Well, I couldn't do anything for you, so I knew I could do this." And he was like, but like, if you've ever dealt with, it's very interesting because I've kind of like dealt with like men like this, not sometimes in like romantic relationships, but just sometimes like even in friendships, like it's very much like he's like on the outside, it's like he's very, it's aggressive and but and it gets very like alpha male. And then as soon as you hold his hand, he's like, I wanted to talk to you. I missed you. Did you call me today? And it's this very sweet thing because this is giving when the camellia blooms. That lead, he loved her so much. He was so like, I was thinking, but he would be like yelling, I was thinking about you all day and I didn't know where you went, so I missed you. And she's like, okay. But he is really pressed about her, and I love that because he keeps going. I'm gonna love you. I don't know, ma'am. I can't. Please be ready. Please be ready. Well, but I'm also happy for her because Grandma was like, love somebody. Don't be alone. Because all Grandma is doing is Grandma doesn't have any lines. Grandma just wisdom. Grandma is a black best friend in a sitcom in the 90s and 2000s. All she does is give wisdom and helpful little quips. She is a Jamaican nurse on a TV show. Like all Grandma does is go, don't worry about me, take care of yourself. Don't worry about me, take care of yourself. So when they get, I can tell them when Grandma goes missing, I was like, what are we?
Okay, so that's next scene. So let's finish up episode 9. But I do think it's so sweet because he does mention, so he tells Dan-shim at the hospital. I'm calling her Dan-shim now because like I feel like Se-ri Dan-shim, right? So he tells her that he is a grand prince in these dreams. He's like, everyone's calling me a royal.
He's like, which makes sense for me.
For me.
Makes sense.
So
I'm like, all right, sir.
Sure, calm down. But then he tells her, he's like, oh, he really loved her. Because in her mind, and this is so interesting, Dan-shim thought that he resented her. So this entire time, she's thought that because she betrayed him, she didn't know that he loved her back. She had no idea. She felt like he hated her pretty much. So I think that was a really important moment. And then
when she goes to the gallery,
I was sobbing. So she goes to the gallery. She sees her portrait that he had drawn of her, never sent it to her because it was like a love letter. He had a poem.
Well, he couldn't because he was, he was like
whisked away. He was like,
she tried to bring him porridge and he was like, don't step back on my, don't cross my threshold ever again. But it was like the poem's on one side and she's on one side and she's holding the dagger. So it's just like, even if you're not sure, it's definitely me. Yeah. But I wonder what the damage was to the side. Is that like fire damage or just like or just time? But
I don't know. Did he like rip it because he was? No, I don't know. But we'll see. I'm sure we'll see. I'm sure they're going to answer everything.
I'm sure they try to catch it on fire, and then the king shows up. All of this makes me think.
Well, so this is the scene, I think, where she remembers and she sees him being carted off. So he's, he's in little, the wooden cage thing, the shame cart. The shame cart.
This is what is it? Cersei being walked through the city.
I know. Shame.
At least they weren't throwing stuff at him.
I know. So, but you see her because she has these like wooden carvings that I guess back in the day.
From the lightning struck jujube tree. It's for like
jujube. Yeah. So she has that, and she wants to give it to him, and she runs after. I was like sobbing because you kind of understand. Like she loved him. Like, and this is what you understand Dan-shim now, current day Dan-shim, because she was forced to suppress everything. She never got to express how she felt for him.
Well,
she
court lady couldn't.
Hidden away. A court lady couldn't. So you see how much like, just emotional toll that it took on her, and how much she loved him. And then that's when you're saying when Telemundo comes and just like, he's like, don't do it, like don't ignore, forget him. And you're like,
because we learned the backstory of the brother from Telemundo, and then I'm just like, I don't believe anything he's talking about. Our great brother, our amazing brother, and it's like, you probably murdered this brother, and then. He's like, you need to take care of yourself. This is about survival. He was like, what are you going to do? Go into exile with him? And it's like, girl, what were you going to do? Go into exile with him?
Maybe. I mean,
Why not?
Why not? And then,
why not?
And then we kind of go towards the end. I mean, so much has happened. A lot happens in this episode.
But so what's interesting is like all of these things happen, but the pacing is still it's not as fast as Perfect Crown, because Perfect
that's
Crown.
what I'm saying. So they know how to stay in the pocket. So I feel like things are happening, but the central thing that they always go back to is they develop this relationship between both like the Choson era characters and Se-gye and Se-ri and Dan-shim. Like that's what was missing in Perfect Crown, I think, because they never, other than like those like cute moments on the yacht and they were kissing and stuff, they never had just like moments together where we can actually understand why they loved each other so much. Like there was no like development of like the relationship either. So I think this is why this drama does so well, because they always go back and they focus on the main couple. It's always about them, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, like because you I feel like after it's been episode 9, 10, right? Don't you feel like you know these characters? Like I can tell you exactly, like I can tell you like the emotional state of Dan-shim when she left. Like we know all this. We know a backstory of like why Se-gye is the way he is. Like his grandfather in the next episode's like, oh, I didn't love him as much as I should have. He lost his parents both, but I was so hard on him. And you're like, you get it. You get all these things. And it's like, it's so
And then emotional growth
good.
from a senior citizen on a having emotional intelligence. And he was like, I didn't do what I needed to do. But so let's get into but there's
the
we
final
gotta talk
scene.
about the argument.
The final scene. So I'm really glad that the grandfather has caught on that Mundo is, plotting.
Mundo's acting a donkey.
So he's going to send him. God. Yeah, so he's going to send him to the U.S. because he was trying to, remember, he told Telemundo, hey, find a position for Se-gye. And then Telemundo's like, we can send him to the U.S. And then Grandpa's like, and he has this little, like, he's playing his little chess pieces. And he's like, I know what that little bitch is thinking. Yeah.
Because he was like, oh, he's asleep, but he's slamming these pieces down. And then the pieces echo on the screen. So he's like, he can hear him being awake.
So he's upset. Yep.
So, but Grandpa used him against him because Grandpa was probably like, whatever you're trying to do to my grandson, I'm going to do to you. So if you want to give my grandson this, because he was like, go to the U.S., go take care of your child.
Yeah,
and I
your
could
son's
not
there, your kid is there. Go.
And he was supposed to go see him, but then this thing happened, and like I was like, what is the problem with him going to U.S. and then running
It's demotion. Because if you leave, if you're leaving headquarters and they would send you out to a satellite office, of course, that's a huge demotion because he needs to be where the action is.
Okay,
you know?
I don't understand how business works.
Yeah, so, well, basically it's like he's like the president, right, of the company.
Oh, so he wouldn't be the president anymore.
Yeah, so he would be
But what if he was the president of the U.S. office?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, there's only one president of the company.
You need to be there. So it's a demotion. That's why he was like trying to ship him off, So
got it.
Then we see him. So Mundo tells Se-gye about Se-ri. So the cat's out of the bag. That Se-ri or Dan-shim and Telemundo have been in contact. And remember, in the start of the episode, they talk about how he just wants her to be honest with him, right? Mm-hmm. He's always kind of wanted this.
But also he's like, I don't like you talking to him. I don't like you talking to him. I don't like it. And it's almost, he's like, I'm very jealous, but it's just like, and now that I think about it, I'm like, oh, it isn't actual like real jealousy. It's you're concerned about her safety. So now that he knows, but she still didn't tell him the extent of what was.
She's not. So this is where, again, it's so good because he's basically like, hey, I thought I gave you enough. What more can I do to get you to trust me? He's like, I've been groveling. I've been clinging. I've been doing all of this. I would rather you just use me. Like, I love you so much. I'm willing to let you use me. And this is when she slaps him.
Right.
And I was like, damn, this scene,
that
I was like me off guard because for her, it's like, because I think she kind of understands. I think she's seeing a reflection of her behavior. She's hearing the way she's been treating him. It's not like she doesn't want to open up to him. She can't. Like she's scared to open up. But her hearing it, I think really hurts her. And then it's also kind of like when you love someone, she loves him. If you hear like your lover or your husband or your boyfriend saying these things like, I don't care about anything but you kind of like, I don't know. It's like he's kind of like giving up his self.
Well, it's also because it's like she's always telling him to be strong and always telling him to persevere. And he's just like, I'll do this and I'll do that.
Yeah.
And it's almost like she's trying to like slap sense into him.
Yes.
But when she
exactly.
slapped him and they were going back and forth, I was like, am I reading this correctly? Is this being translated correctly? Because at one point I was like, I don't think I understand what's going on.
No, that's what
and
it is.
I did understand what, and I was like, okay, I do understand what's going on. This is just a lot because she slapped the shit out of him.
I know.
And then he kind of like caught her by her arm and then put his head on her shoulder, and I was like, okay, this is a lot of, but it's like I can say it's like you never get this is that I think the level of emotion and confusion was so real that it caught me off guard to see it on a TV show because I've been in these situations where I'm just like it's like I want to hit you in the face only because I'm frustrated, not because I hate you, not because I don't love you anymore, but I'm like I want to punch you in the mouth. And you just said something wild that was like almost like self-deprecating. And I'm not asking you to do all these things.
She's pissed at the fact. She's upset that he's like willing to give himself up so much. Like he's being so self-deprecating, and it's kind of like negative. Like it's not a good. He's being bad to himself in order to love her, and I don't think she likes that. It's like, you know, like you don't want anyone to like lose their dignity completely. And he's kind of like giving everything up. And, you know, and I think that's what she's upset about because she's also a stronger, like she's like a highly feminist character. Like she's very she's very progressive. So like, you know what I mean? Like I want a man, like, you know, as much as you want to get love from your person, you don't want them to give up their self like dignity to love you, you know? And I think that's what made this scene so like intense. And then they start kissing and I was like, okay.
All right.
and then it starts snowing. I was like, is it winter? I didn't know it was winter time. Okay.
And I think that was the thing because he talks about like, you know, plum blossoms and like things flowering in the wrong season and all of that. But here, let's go into episode 10 because it's so fun to see people like, because everyone was outside looking at this out of season snow. And then I was just been like, all right, global. Yeah, we done messed up the Earth, guys. We done messed up the Earth. And then
they look up, and it's that damn comet. When I saw that comet, I was like, "Oh my god! I think she's gonna.
It's gonna be a problem.
Gonna disappear. I think she's gonna go back. Like
when that comet showed up, I was like, "This is gonna," because it was like the comet going. Oh, it was like something. Like the writer just went, "Hey, remember, she's not supposed to be here.
She's not supposed to be here." So now we know. So like, Se-gye now knows the truth. So she tells him like. He has like completely understood now, like she is Dan-shim. She's from the past. And he's like, is this time travel? Is this reincarnation? If I'm supposed to be the Grand Prince, he's questioning it, but he's like, you know what? I believe you now. Like either way I love you, I'm going to believe you. So, and he is now, it's like the next stage where I feel like he's trying to like, they're official. They're out of their sum period. You know, like when you're summing someone, it's like you guys are like on a trial run almost.
Just talking.
Will they? Won't they? So now they're official, and then he is now trying to creep in closer. Okay, he's like, hey, maybe we'll spend the night. And she's like, yeah. After all this lip smashing, which that cracks me up. The
lip smashing is very funny. And I'm like, there's always been a word for kissing in every language. Lip smashing is hilarious.
That's great. So he's trying to get in. And then this part was interesting. So now we kind of know. So Se-gye and his assistant, everyone knows. Oh, they discover that Telemundo had planted the listening device in his friend's, you know, the doctor's office.
In the therapist's office, yeah.
Yes. So everyone is like, hey, this man's crazy. Are you going to tell your grandfather that this is all happening? Because in my opinion, he should have told him because he needed to prepare everyone to the extent of Telemundo's like evilness, because that could have prevented what happens at the end of the episode. You know what I mean? So I felt like that was a huge, like, come on, Se-gye. Like, what was the point of hiding all of this? You know what I mean?
I think he has probably a bigger plan in mind if he doesn't want people to tell Halapuji.
Yeah.
That has to be the only reason.
Were there any scenes that really like stood out for you here?
There was
a lot. Yeah.
Well, grandma disappearing is one. The thing that really hurt my feelings was when she Well, not for her, but just was like she made all those apple treats for everybody. And then they were
Those
just
little
throwing
bitches
them
threw it
away
away.
because there was no reason for them not to trust her.
I know. And then she made, like, I would have loved it. Like,
And
a
they were so
candied
pretty.
apple. Yeah.
She made candied apples. She had these pretty boxes and all of that. And it was just like, oh, we don't know if we can trust her. And I was like, what? She's giving you no reason to not trust her. The one that's playing the queen is the one you should not trust.
I
She hasn't done
know.
anything to make you not trust her. It's just hateration in the dancery. That one made me really sad because it's just like, it's because they think she was trying to like bribe them because, you know, old boy got her the coffee cart and all of that. But it was like, there was no reason for them to throw them away.
No,
Also, it
that
was like,
so mean.
also, and then somebody cut up her outfit. Somebody cut up her costume.
And I don't think it's actually, I thought it was Chihyo, the rival. I don't think it was the rival. I think there's like other people acting like crazy people.
Because it was a little best friend character who was like, oh, thank you so much. And she's been sharing the treats with. I think we're going to find out it was actually a little best friend character on the show who's the one that actually cut up her costume. Because I don't think it was the other ones that are hateful.
The friend. Ooh,
Yeah,
that's a
I
good
think
one.
it was
You're
the friend.
absolutely right.
I think it was
yeah.
the friend. I think the
We'll
friend
see.
is going to be like, oh, well, you know, you're getting all of this because like the other three just being hateful to her and throwing out the apple stuff because she was just like, oh, that's so sad. I think it was actually the best friend character who cut her costume up. Also, whenever they find out who cut up her costume, they're going to get fired. You put up a historical costume.
Yeah, that's a hanbok, man. That's like money. That's
You cut up a historical hanbok. You can't run down to a Nordstrom's or a Uniqlo and go pick that back up.
So one scene that I loved and I thought it was so funny was, you know, when she decides they go on the date and she's
Yes.
like, I want to do normal people thing, which was very sweet because I think that, like, for me too, like, I think when you're dating someone or you get into a relationship, it's like, I just want to do like normal day things. Like, I think that's
Let's
so
go
like
to the-
romantic. Like,
Go to the store.
Let's go to run errands together. Like, you
Run
know, when you're
errands
running errands
together.
with a guy, you're like, oh, this is, you know, it's progressing, you know?
Yes, when I
so-
love, he there was a confusion, and he was just like, I'm here to pick up heavy stuff and high stuff,
Yeah,
and it's like, all right, well, let me get all the heavy things, let me get all of my Waterloos, let me get my detergent, all that, and they're happy to, because that's the
it's
thing,
great.
it's like, I know, you know, we're all liberated and stuff, but like, let a man hold a door, let a man pick up something heavy. Because have you seen that thing on TikTok where this young black dude pops up, so he'll see a couple and like the woman is like,
it's like men in 2026, that thing where all the men are just like not carrying anything.
watching, where it's like it'll be in stores and these spouses or partners are just watching a woman grab something high and not reaching for it for her, or pick up a thing of water, and then this young man just comes and he just kind of, oh, here you go, and you just see this woman go, because he's like
Which
a
is
young,
so
handsome,
sad.
tall black man. He is gorgeous, and it's just, and the number of times you just see older white women being like, oh, it's a man being like, we're together, and he was like, then why is she grabbing this water?
So
It's genius. So
this scene, it was very sweet because she makes a lot of references to like the old dramas, which I love.
yes, all of
and
the
then
old
that
shows.
scene where they're going up the steps to Namsan Tower, that is like an iconic scene. It's like the ending of My Lovely Samsoon. Love the drama. I thought it was so funny when they're in the cable car and they are fighting. They're like, it's like back to normal. Like they're just like, you know, and the way she freaking, because he jokes, he's like, oh yeah, hold on, we might
by
fall.
a thread. Hold on by a thread. And she's like,
slaps his forehead, and I was like, "What is happening?" And he is like, "Are you crazy?" Like they're
I feel like
screaming.
the way she hit him in his forehead, part of me feels like that wasn't in the script.
No,
like
I think this is like a lot of like
improv,
ad-libbing. Yeah, I think this is
ad-libbing and improv. But
It
the way
is-
she taps him in his forehead, and then she's just like, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. He's like, will you stop? I was kidding. And then now she's like, oh no.
I know, and then
she's trying to hide.
It's so funny. The extras are just like, "What the crap?" They all start laughing because could you imagine being in a cable car, this woman, and they're like slapping each other? It's so funny. Like they're a very funny couple, and I think this is
Yes.
why. Again, the drama. It's like they are so like he loves her so much, and they're so into each other. But these comical moments break it up to make it like funny. So you're like, oh,
Yes.
like I think I kind of like this couple more because it's like they're entertaining. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But And then this part was so funny. This I also saw online, and I was like, what are people talking about? There's like this crazy ass innuendo. So she's basically, they get to Namsan Tower, and she's like, oh, the tower is so small from my house, you know? But then he's like, from my house, it's like...
yeah, because from her house, she said it looks like a nail, but then he said from his house, it looks like an arm?
Or an arm. And then he goes, and he turns to her, and he goes, hey, you want to come over? I'll show you my arm-sized Namsan Tower. And I was like, what? And then she's like, and he goes, it's even better if you come at night. And she looks at him, and I'm like, yo, this is like some X-rated stuff.
Like, why are you trying to get me to come over? You say, why are you always trying to get me to come over at night?
An arm-sized Namsan. I was like, what is happening? And everyone freaked out. Like again, the memes, people are like reposting it. It was so funny. I laughed. But in seriousness, he's like, I'm lonely. That's why I want you to come, because my family hates me. You remember the Ajumas go to the they go to the Buddha
fortune teller.
The fortune tellers. They get freaking
she throws salt at them because she overhears a conversation of them plotting on her, plotting on him. And she's like, I'm not here to help you plot on this man. And so, because she knows the couple. So, but I'm like, she just had all that that salt is thick as like the way that
it probably
salt
hurts. It probably stings when it's like.
It has to.
Maybe we should do that one day. We should just do social.
Girl, that salt is heavy as shit.
Oh my God, that'd be so funny. I mean, there are a lot of like funny skits we could do. Honestly, we should just do skits one day.
I love like the beating
you're
each
an
other with
actor, so you can,
hitting each other with the palm fronds, with just the plant at the beginning, and then. But the salt, the way that honestly, the acting of the one, the one auntie, she is the one with the shortcut. She is out here.
She's such a good actress.
She's a beast.
She's like a comedian too. So
the other one, I'm just like, ugh. But
I mean, I think it's interesting that they added the extra. Yeah. So,
but she's outshining her in every single scene. But I think when Grandma goes missing, I thought she had gotten kidnapped.
Yeah,
by Telemundo, because Telemundo was pissed.
I know,
because they were moving to. Because he asked him, "What are you gonna do?" And Telemundo was like, "I show you what I'm gonna do." And then Grandma went missing, and I'm just like, I know this man did not kidnap Harmony.
Yeah.
Because he's mad he got to go to the U.S. Like, so then, but when it's even worse because she comes back with that signed paperwork, and I'm just like, why did she sign this? Is it because she wanted her granddaughter to not have to?
I think it was a dementia.
So they just caught her slipping.
Yeah, they caught her slipping. So that's why that's why they were like, when she was arguing with him, she was like, you knew she's not feeling well. Like you're basically, you're targeting.
You took
an
advantage
innocent
of
old woman. You're taking advantage of this person. I did love how Se-gye took the initiative to visit the Harmony on his own. He didn't tell Dan-shim. He just shows up. He's like, I'm going to be a man. Oh, because the assistant was like, maybe Se-ry's doing all these things because you have low stamina. And I was like,
the
Jesus
stamina.
Christ.
Also, this is one of those situations where I'm just like, I know there's a word for stamina in Korean.
No, they say stamina.
There had to be a word. You're telling me.
Yeah, like old people call it stamina. Stamina.
You're telling me in the Chosun era they were saying stamina? No, there was always been a word on the drama that said kissing.
That's the first things. The people who crossed over, the missionaries were like, stamina. That's where they learned it.
And then all of Korea was like, we never had a word for this before. All the number of tonics and potions that have been created to help a man. And you think we just now? I thought it was hilarious.
I think there's a word. I think there's a word. I just think it's funny. I think it's very funny, but every time because they love burning up stamina. It's like a joke, you know, like in Korean dramas, how like they make the men eat eel. The eel helps you. And I'm just like, so basically anything that's shaped like the woohoo, like that makes it help stamina. I'm like, guys, come on. Let's do better.
This is across cultures. That's why that's why they got the young men at these gas stations buying these honey packs. Okay? That's why they got the blue chews out here. That's why my ex was taking Extends years ago. Like this has always been a thing where men are just trying to be like, we got to make sure that it's at all times across cultures. Everyone's always worried about this. And then the woman version is that's why everybody's drinking this okra water.
You know what's interesting? Every single drama that we've watched, pretty much, there's like references, right? They talk about stamina. There's like Cialis packets and like the glory. It's just so interesting. It's so like, anyways, it's
because a man's fertility, man's virility is
so important.
It is because you cannot have sexy time if that man is not, Namson Tower. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so, it's very the part the Harmony and Se-gye meeting. It's so sweet because both grandparents have this like chat with the individual, partners, being like, this person is really lonely, insanely
which is a trope.
Lonely, which is a trope. I just want them to find happiness. I will be, and then, Se-gye and Se-ri are both like, I will be there for them. What's interesting with the grandfather, though, in this conversation is the grandpa's like, I don't want two sad people getting together and that was interesting. I was like,
two people with no families. He said, I want him to have a mother-in-law.
Yeah.
I want him to have a father-in-law.
Yeah.
I want him to have uncle, I want him to marry into a family. And that's what I think about like that for myself because my family's not close.
Yeah.
So it's like you want to marry into a family that has, family.
Yeah, no, that's a legitimate thing. So then this is where we get to, okay, so the craziest 5 minutes of the episode. First, you see Se-gye looking for Se-ri or Dan-shim, and then there's a white truck. The white truck of doom almost hits him.
The white now listen.
So I was like,
the fake out with the white truck of doom?
The fake out. And I was like, what? I was like, oh, wow, okay. I was like, this is clever. I was like, this is good. They're kind of like making fun of it, right? They're making fun of the tropes. I was like, okay, this is interesting. So then we jump, and then the grandfather, grandpapa and Dan-shim, they're having a very serious conversation about he's just like, I just want the best for Se-gye. I don't want him to be lonely, all of that.
And I didn't love him enough, and I should have been more supportive when his parents died.
I was sobbing. I was like, just cry all the time. So then, out of nowhere, you see Telemundo, you think he's leaving the country.
I was like, okay, good. He got his ass at the airport. He's getting up out of here. And then his son comes limping in because he messed up that ligament. But remember, the night before, the nanny called him and was like, hey, he got hurt. And she's whispering. And she was like, I'm only telling you now because he told me not to. And he was like, you don't work for that child. You work for me. Your replacement is coming in the morning. And I'm like, honestly, I'm not mad at that.
I mean,
you don't work for an 8-year-old. You work for me. So if he got hurt, you should have told me immediately.
Yeah. So you see him not leave. So this is interesting. And then out of nowhere,
brings the baby to the U.S.
I know, to Korea. So the baby's in Korea. Yeah, to Korea. So then you see Se-gye in Se-ri's rooftop. He's calling her. Okay, he's calling her, and then you see this crazy, out of nowhere, very intense white truck of doom crashing in. And I have never seen in a drama, you see the truck coming at you. You don't see it actually impact people.
Never.
We see this is a kind of a violence. And you see.
They flew.
Haraboji, and they flew. You see the impact and you're like.
This is some stunt because but it would always do something it would always hit a car.
Yes,
right?
but never people.
But if you think of the scene where his mom is in the car, the scene where
Perfect
the parent,
Crown.
right, in Perfect Crown, it's Perfect Crown was actually the most I've seen of a car crash too, where you see the mom like bleeding out in the car. There's blood on the ground, like on Perfect Crash. Like, oh, you didn't used to see this much, and then now to see them, because the truck coming through. Because I think what usually would have happened is you would see it from the other angle.
That's
where
what
you
I'm
would
saying.
see the truck coming up.
Yes,
and then the truck would hit the window, and then we would cut to them just laying on the ground.
There. Yeah.
We would never see the impact from their angle, because when you do see her see it, you're like, and because what happens what I thought was we see her see the truck.
Yeah.
And then I thought we were going to cut, and then it's like face to face. Like I thought this was going to be I thought that was going to be when the wipe comes through. I did not think we were going to actually see.
I know.
Because when she said, because when Halabuji tells her go ahead and answer the phone, for some reason the call doesn't pick up or something like that, and then it cuts out, and then he goes to call back, and then they go flying through the air with the greatest of ease. And I was like, I don't. Also, Telemundo, this was the plan?
Well, Telemundo is fucking wild, man.
To kill Halabuji? To kill the chairman?
I really wish, but I think so. Do we think Grandpapa is dead?
No, he's too strong. But I thought the last time he went to go visit Halabuji while he was fishing, I thought when he found out that the last time we went to go see Grandpa while he was fishing, I was worried that Telemundo was going to do something to Grandpa then. Because Grandpa never had security. The last time he saw Grandpa fishing, I was like, I think he might do something to Grandpa.
So this is what I think, because we saw a little bit of the preview. I saw the preview. I'm sure you saw the preview too. But to me, I think that speech, the Grandpapa speech at the end to Se-ri or Dan-shim means a lot. Like, to me, that felt very much of like a farewell situation. I have a feeling Grandpapa is going to die. I think Dan-shim is clearly in a coma because, we see her go back in time, which I knew it was going to happen, but it's going to be very interesting because we only have 4 episodes left. So I'm very curious to see how they all manage that.
I saw a creator on TikTok. I think her name is Frankie, and she said if Shin-sori wakes up as the old Shin-sori, and then Se-gye comes up to her in the hospital, and she's like, "Who are you?" She said, "Come get me. Come get me. I am not going to be able to function. Come get me." Because
I don't think they're going to do that.
I don't think. But the thing is, like, if Dan-shim's got thrown back into the past, right?
Yeah.
And so now she's in a coma.
Yeah.
She's gonna have to come forward, or
well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, I think what's going to happen is basically Dan-shim was always in a coma. Well, she was always in a coma, so that's why she was comatose when she left her body. So when we go back and you see the court lady who's also the fortune teller waking her up, I think she was always in a comatose state. So just as long as she stays in the coma, it's going to be her. So basically, that's how she's going back and forth. I really hope. Listen. Shin-sori, I'm sure she's a lovely gal, but the real Shin-sori, we gotta keep her parked away. Like, I agree with this Frankie lady. Like, that will be freaking wild.
Unless they pull the stunt where she takes all of the knowledge that she got in present day, and then now she goes back, and then she just goes but it's a different. But that's not the same prince. That's not the same guy.
No. I need Dan-shim to be with Se-gye. I need Dan-shim to be with Se-gye. Or what would be crazy, could you imagine? Because we don't know what happened. I don't think the Grand Prince is dead. I think he's like in prison. Can you imagine?
He's just exiled.
Oh no. Do you think that he
gets
goes
poisoned?
Back? He gets poisoned?
You know he's going to get poisoned. Whenever someone gets sent into exile, then what's going to happen? He got sent into exile, and then the Grand Prince is going to kill him.
But what if he's still alive? And then Se-ri or Dan-shim goes back to be with him. And as Frankie was saying, what if, or like what you were saying, what if like Se-ri gets all like the experiences of Is Hori, but I don't want that. I want Dan-shim and I want Se-gye.
We want Dan-shim. We want Dan-shim and we want Se-gye. We don't want Dan-shim
with Se-gye. I don't care.
Yes,
Crown
we don't
Prince,
want her with the old
happened.
prince. We don't want her with the old
First
prince.
love.
Or what's going to have to happen, or for her to go back forward again, she's going to have to drink poison again.
Oh my God.
For her soul to go again.
I need, if they pull a Bon Appetit or whatever,
And he just fucking shows up with no explanation.
I need them to be together. I want Dan-shim and I want Se-gye together. Grand Prince, goodbye. I'm sorry. Bye.
Bye.
You were the first love. Tori, I'm really sorry. I feel bad for you too. But like, listen, your grandma's being taken care of. You're
Beat it, nerd.
She couldn't have. Yeah. So no. But I guess on that note, it's 10:35. You got to go.
Yeah.
Okay,
I already asked them if I could be a little late.
Okay, so guys, thank you so much for chatting with us. We had a great time. We can't wait for the next episode. That will probably be next Monday as well because I'm traveling this week. So I'll be back. So we got to figure that out. But hopefully you're free, Dulce, on Monday. So we can do it Monday morning again. Yeah.
I'm down. Listen, I am here. I am, as in the words of one of my friends, I'm President Talkative, in the words of Jared Harris's special. I am President Talkative. So thank y'all so much for watching Unnies React to My Royal Nemesis. And again, follow us on all of the socials. Make sure you subscribe below and make sure you follow our Substack and make sure you call our hotline. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And we will see you on the next K-Drama Chase. Sarangees.
Oh, and then go Knicks.
Sure.
It's tonight. Yeah, game 3 tonight. Go Knicks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sarangees.